are punishing Uber. This is a public spanking that you are witnessing live, my friends. And I tuned in at 6:30 a.m. this morning here on the West Coast. Opening was 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And what happens? It just keeps on going down, right? We are down 10.7% from the beginning, right? Remember, this opened up at what? 45. We're down to 37.11 for the share. This is a very, very clear message to Uber that whatever they are doing right now is not right. And I say it starts with the leadership, right? I say you need to flush a lot of the leaders out. I've always said somebody that you have in these senior executive positions that has never even gotten into a car and understand their own business model, right? Has no idea how this thing functions, hasn't even taken a trip, is not even worthy to be an executive member or on the board of directors. So if they want to start with a pathway to profitability, right, they're going to have to mix things up. That means certain people need to go. And I'm not shy to say that it starts right on top with the CEO, that Derek Kay needs to resign, right? Then I'm telling you, slowly but surely, the public will come back in, see new leadership, and regain a bit of faith and trust in this company. The worst thing that Uber could have done in the last few weeks is turn their back to the drivers and pretended that these strikes, the unhappiness of the drivers was not a problem at all for us. We're going to march on happily to the IPO, and we're going to have a good IPO. They completely turned their backs, right, on the drivers, on the workforce. And you know what? The public saw that, right? The public saw that. The public, I believe, sided with the drivers because we were so loud. And, you know, there's a lot of people that say, well, you have no clue how this works. They're only looking out for the shareholders. They're not doing this for the drivers. I understand where many people that come into my channel, Ray in the house, Dragon in the house, Mark in the house, Sergio in the house, Genuine in the house, Mark Biss in London in the house, Dave Tube in the house, Terry Tips, love to you, my friend. Love it. Game of Thrones going on. People are being cut here, right? This is Game of Thrones, my friends. Last night's episode playing out right here, right? John Smith, William Whitfield, how are you guys? So, you know, they were happily marching towards the finishing line, and they thought it would all be a bed of roses. And I knew that in my heart of hearts, soul of souls, that if we kept on pushing in the media, in the print, in the TVs with the strikes, the public at least, right? This is the public markets acting here today, my friends, right? And they are spanking Uber. Bad child, bad child, bad child. I don't believe in spanking any child, but let's say this is a company spanking, right? And it's playing out live here. I mean, come on, 10.6% of their opening value is just literally gone. It's gone within 2 days of trading. It's gone, right? Terry Tips, much love, my friend. I always love having this guy. His smile is so infectious. Guys, go to his channel, check out Terry Tips. I have watched all of his videos. He is one of my YouTube heroes. He's for the people, does the videos for the drivers, and no question in my heart where Terry Tips stands. He's 150% behind the drivers, right? So go to his channel right now. If you haven't subscribed to Terry Tips, subscribe to him because he gets the word out. You're welcome, brother. So the the markets again here. I've been up since 6:30 a.m. I tuned in, and a lot of people that did puts or shorts made a lot of money, right? Because they knew that this thing is going to go one way only, and that's downwards. And this, my friends, I think is a clear message, crystal clear message to the executive branch of Uber. It's time to put down your pens, clear out your desk, and leave the offices, right? Leave the offices. We need new leadership. Dustin's in the house. We'll be in the 20s, Dustin. We're getting there. We're getting to the 20s. We're on 37 right now. Folks, if this is not a message by the public, I don't know what is, right? You know, here we are. We're not making crazy demands, us drivers. We just want, the very basics. But I said in my last video, the pathway forward to profitability, I would bring these directors in one by one, right? The good ones, the bad ones, I would let go. But let's say I had a couple of good racehorses still on their team, and I'd say, what are you earning? Tell me, what are you earning? What did you earn last year in 2018? Oh, I made 8 million. Well, guess what? You're making $3 million next year. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Right? Next guy, what are you earning? I made $20 million last year. Well, guess what? You're going to make $6 million next year. Do you still want your job? You can stay or you can go. We'll replace you, right? You got to cut the trim the fat off those mega supersonic salaries, right? Starting with the CEO with his, I don't know what he got, 40 million. I think he stands to get another 100 million after this IPO. Absurd. And then you ask yourself why this company is hemorrhaging and bleeding money. You start with the executive board, you start with the board of directors, and you give them realistic salaries, not supersonic salaries, right? And then they really need to retain drivers, keep drivers happy, and put in place incentive plans that work for drivers. Not willy-nilly try out these beta test after beta test daily, bring out a new feature, 1 week later, take away the feature, try out this for 2 weeks, take it away. They have no clue, ladies and gentlemen. They are just shooting blanks into the dark, hoping to hit something, right? This is how this company is run. And the public, if the investors and any big traders have money in this company and they're big shareholders, you got to chop from the top. I say chop from the top, get rid of the CEO, and so what? Who cares here? This is our house. If the guy deactivates me over this video, I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling the truth to the public, is that these people have no clue about rideshare, zero clue. They have not driven passengers. How can I'm sure that the leader of CEO of FedEx or UPS has some experience delivering parcels or was been down on the ground dealing with cargo or been at the airports, right? They have a feeling for their company. They know how it works. How can you sit on top of your throne, right? Like Game of Thrones, like that lady in her town yesterday when the dragon came around and burned the whole damn thing down. How can you be sitting up there and you have no idea what's going on grassroots level? You turn your back to your drivers. You pretend day in, day out that these strikes are not for real, that these issues are not for real, that you do not have to address them, right? Do you call that leadership? I don't call that leadership. I call that failure. I call that a massive failure, right? And you need new people in this company that have a background of some understanding. Even if you have a couple of executives coming from the taxi industry, I don't care. They do know more than these guys, right? So the pathway to profitability, I think it's doable. I truly think it's doable, right? I would not give up on the stock. I would just restructure things and take a whole fresh new approach. Gig Lifestyle, JK in the house, Ariel Rojas. It's your car, Uber owns nothing. Yeah, exactly. Mario Cedillo, damn right, absolutely, thank you. Damn right you are as well. Michael Ryan, minimum $5 to $7 a fare. Yeah, exactly. Don't be shy to increase the passengers' rates, right? They have cozied up too much to the passenger, and they think that they're going to offend the passenger by upping the rates. No, these passengers are getting royal treatment. They're getting 5-star treatment from pro drivers, right? And they are paying amounts that are a fraction of a taxi. You can compare any taxi fare to a rideshare fare, day and night, right? So don't be shy to increase, I would say, in 2 steps, 10% and 10%, or 15% and 10%, right? Bring it up 25%. Then of that 25% already, bring 15% over to the drivers to keep them happy, to keep them engaged, so you don't go through this washing machine cycle of burning out drivers. So, 2-step process, bring up the rates for passengers by 25% over the next 6 months. Of that 25%, pass on 15% immediately to the drivers to keep them happy, to keep them retained. In that way, you stop the bleeding and the high rotation cycle of drivers, and you free up hundreds of millions of dollars right there, right? I mean, it does not take a rocket science. Any of us here can run this company right now. Any of us will have better ideas and can make better decisions than Uber is making right now. And huge mistake if they think that, they're just going to cozy up and do everything these shareholders want. The markets are going to dictate completely differently. Look at this, my friends, 10.78%. Do you realize that? 10% of that entire opening value is gone, flushed down the toilets right now, within a day and a half of trading. 5 stars, Jay Beats, you're right. Dorothy Morgan, you're right. Minimum fare for Las Vegas is $5, minimum writer for $3.75. Correct, right? Dave the Pro, they need to stop hemorrhaging money on autonomous technology. 100% correct. That's so far down the line. Get your ducks in a row with the current business first. Spend 2 years figuring out your current model, right? Versus pumping all that money into autonomous cars. Now, I understand that it's a huge race, right? It's a huge race for that second phase for the autonomous vehicles, right? For the AVs, right? But here's the thing. Bring in key players, maybe do an alliance with Tesla and let them spend the money. Let them spend the money on that, right? So that at least you got another good 5 to 6, 8 years of starting to make profits, and then you slowly start to switch with AV. Why is Uber think that they have to build the technology themselves? Are they a car maker? No, you form an alliance with a car maker, whether it's with Ford, whether it's General Motors, whether it's with BMW, whether it's with Tesla. They're all after that technology, right? Have one key player on board. And I think if the markets knew that their partners would be Tesla, for example, and Tesla was working on this side of it, spending the money, I think this would increase. Thomas Cass, I appreciate you, my friend. Taxi fares in Boston are 3 times over and lips. There we go. He's just shared that information with us, right? I really appreciate you giving us some real numbers, Thomas Cass. There we go. So if that is the bar, that is what people are used to pay for a trip, right? Just hear that, what Boston rates, right? Why can you not come up in 2 increments of 10 plus 15, 25% for the passengers, increase the rates? And immediately, if you're smart, you immediately pass on 15% of that to the driver, right? You can't just randomly out of the blue chop 25% of their earnings. You're expecting them not to strike? That's the obvious thing that's going to take place. Obviously, they're going to strike. Guys, 11%. This is the highest low, 36.97. I have never, ever seen a stock behave like this, right? Friday was only a few hours of trading, and today we're on Monday, a few hours of trading. I'd say within 6 to 7 hours, this thing has dropped 11%. right? And think of this. They wanted to start at 120 billion. Then they thought, nah, let's rethink things. Let's go to 100 billion. And they rethought things and they said, let's list at 90 billion. And then they eventually, I think, listed at 80 or 82 billion, right? Where the share price, I think, was $45, right, at opening. And here we are at 36. Look at Lyft behaving the same way. Thomas Cass, thank you for sharing that really crucial information. That confirms everything right there, that if the taxis are charging those, if the passenger is used to that, why should the passenger suddenly be paying this? Bring the passenger over here, right? Do you understand what that would do to your margins, to your profitability? You know, hemorrhaging $1.8 billion and they can't get themselves out of that mud hole? Who's running the show, guys? Let's all have a seat in that boardroom. Every single one of the people in my house should, say, sorry, we're taking over your offices here. I mean, come on, Uber. Gustavo Rosales, he needs to be on Undercover Boss. Porky Because, how are you? Hi, everyone. Ripbone. Driving Phoenix, Lyft is just as bad. Driving Phoenix, I just said that a minute ago, just as bad, right? But again, you can also see what, you think the Lyft drivers are happy? You think the workforce of Lyft, the weightlifters of Lyft, you think they're happy? No. We share the same common feeling at the moment, right? And the good thing is, here's the good thing. The good thing is, we have pushed for change. We have made a difference. We have gone out there. We have engaged with the media. We have engaged with the print. We already have organizations rallying around us, Gig Workers, Rights United. So we are making a massive difference. And for those people who've dropped into my channel and into our house periodically and say, you're wasting your time. No, we're not wasting our time. Here it is. The public markets have heard us loud and clear. You have an issue. Now fix it, right? The public understands, and I think the public rallies around us because they know we drive them, right? I think there's more of a they sympathize with us. They do. Because they can see we're out there. They can see we're telling the stories in the car. The driver, the passenger, you know how many passengers have asked me, hey, what's going on? What's all this striking and media coverage? Let me tell you about it. And that is your duty in the house to tell the passenger, just tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. We are striking because. So every opportunity you get to engage with a passenger is one chance to correct a wrong that Uber has done, right? The company itself is not bad. The business model itself is not bad. It's what the people on the top and what the shareholders want greedily for themselves. That doesn't really represent the entire company. It doesn't, right? Because the entire company is made up of more people than just Dara and Co. It's made up of a huge, huge workforce, which is us, the people in our house, right? The drivers. And you got to take care of all. You got to take care of all. You even have to take care of the guy who's doing the inspection at the hub. Can't pay him cents per dollar, right? And folks, since an 11-year-old, when I started delivering newspapers, I can tell you what worked for me best in life were incentives, goals, that I could work towards a goal and work towards another goal, right? The only goal that these executives and CEOs see, hey, is the goal of the IPO, because that, no matter if Travis gets $4.5 billion or $5.5 billion, what's the difference? $1 billion? I've already become a billionaire 4.5 times over, right? So that's their only one goal. Our goals should be different. Our goals should be set every 500 trips. We get the chance to do a step up in earnings. We get a step up in rewards, right? Things like this beta testing Uber Pro program where you guys are gold drivers and he's a diamond driver and he's a platinum driver. I say BS, man. That's Mickey Mouse stuff. That's Mickey Mouse stuff. That doesn't work. We don't buy into that BS psychology, right? You got to come with realistic incentives, right? Even the newspaper manager that I used to work for as a 12-year-old, this lady called Mrs. Lanterman, right? She could even run this company because she truly knew how to bring out the best in her little crew, right? And the same thing applies with this company, right? The executives need to bring out the best in the drivers. They've brought out the worst in the drivers. And our worst side is us getting in front of the YouTube screens, us standing at the picket lines, us striking, because we're not happy, right? So I'm doing this, ladies and gentlemen, my friends in my channel. Why am I doing this today? Why is Rideshare Professor playing the same record on the Monday? Isn't this starting to get boring? No. And let me tell you my answer to this, my friends. When the public is tuned in to such a big event, such as the IPO on the Friday, and the public is eagerly awaiting Monday morning, what will the markets do, right? I need to seize the moment and the opportunity to do a live feed and have people beyond us drivers come into the room and see, and I'm talking about the market, the public market that's currently spanking the stock big time. They need to be able to read your messages, right? Your feed. That's why I have the feed live there. We're not like Uber that cuts off the feed. We go live. Everybody gets a chance. Gustavo, Michael, high testosterone. Thank you, Brady. I am dropping the hammer. Damn right I am. They get a chance to tell you, the public, right? The public that's watching this, the public that'll be tuning into this video later or tomorrow or the next day. These people will give you a chance and explain to you what's really, really going on with the company. As am I. I'm trying to tell you what is truly, truly going on with Uber, right? In order to have faith in this stock, in order to turn this sucker around and go to the 46s, the 50s, the 55s, and the 60, which is completely possible, you got to understand what makes this clock tick, right? The executives of Uber do not understand what makes this clock tick. They don't. They are so disconnected from their workforce. They are so far away from their and disconnected from their workforce. It's not even funny, right? They have zero clue. None of them. I've heard of maybe one executive that has taken a couple of trips. Well, good for him or good for her, right? Because they've done 100% more than the other 99%, right? None of these guys understand the heartbeat of this business. What is rideshare, right? If I had to pull every single one of them into interview, what is rideshare? Tell me, blah, 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 blah. Have you ever done rideshare? Have you been behind the wheel? Have you engaged with a passenger? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Sorry, no, I haven't. Have you driven a passenger from a nightclub back to their house at 2 a.m.? Sorry, I haven't. Exactly, you haven't. You have no freaking clue how this business operates. Yet you, almighty, sit on top, right? And see what you've achieved. This is what you've achieved. So the public needs to vote your butts out, right? The public needs new leadership, right? The public needs a few good people on the board from the streets, drivers on the board that mix it up. This cannot be a top to bottom decision-making process. We've got to be in the mix, right? We've got to have a say. And then the public, I think if the public sees a couple of drivers on the board of directors, and I don't even know if I'd want to be at the board of directors at this point, right? I really don't. I'm at a point where I just find it disgusting the way they are treating us, the way they never even acknowledged us during the strikes, right? They pretended it had no relevance. It has a lot of relevance. Here, this is the relevance, my friends. This is the relevance. This is the public speaking. So we did make an impact. I want to reassure every single one of you that your time switching the apps off or not getting into the car on specific days because you took a stand made a huge difference. I can reassure you right here that you, the driver, and myself, and all the other guys, the Smakoviches, the Terry Tips, the Uber Golpolas, the Dave, the Uber slaves, all of these people made a difference collectively, not one of us on our own, no, but us collectively, right? We made a huge difference. And I thank you for that. I really do. James Campbell, I read that letter. That was great. I might have asked this before, but will Jeff Bezos or Google buy Uber? I honestly think it would be good if, I don't think they would allow him because, he's just building up too much of a conglomerate. But, the execs at Google or the execs at Amazon would do a far better job. And they would probably also hire people from the rideshare industry and put them on the board, right? I think they would. They have a track record, right? Look at where Amazon started and where they are today. Look at where Google started. So you have to go by their track record. Would they be better players? Would they be able to maybe buy this company or buy a huge percentage of the stock and have a larger say? I'm sure they could. But I would almost welcome that, right? People say, hey, the big companies shouldn't get bigger. We should. No, in this case, we right now we need competent people to steer the ship. We really do. We desperately need some competent captains at the steering wheel, at the helm of this ship, right? Because this ship is like steering way, way off course, right? Heading towards the rocks, right? Whereas the ship should be sailing towards the islands. Quest 360 in the house. I would work at the board of directors or high in the company to slap the daylights out of the Uber's current board of directors. I love it. That's a great, great answer, my friend. Dave, the pro Uber and Lyft need regulation to ensure profitability and give drivers a fixed percentage. See, good. Morgan Stanley investors are pissed. Yeah, they are. And Morgan Stanley investors need to reshuffle things. Anybody with power right now, including Travis Kalanick, telling was better than Dara. I can tell you that. Travis was better than Dara, right? And I'm sure Travis has learned a lot over the next few years. It's not like I want Travis back, but Travis right now would be better than Dara. I think Dara, oh my God, he just looks nervous and scared and confused in every single interview. When he got in the car and did that first trip and screwed up on his first trip. You remember that? That to me is not Mr. Rideshare guy, right? The guy that I can trust in. Put Harry in there. Put Harry on the board of directors. Yeah. He is. He's just thinking of the cash that he's getting. I'm sorry. You know what, Dara, if you're listening in, I'm sorry to say that. You see this big payday. You really haven't done much for us. You really haven't cared for us, right? But the way I see you, you want to cash in. And in a way, I'm sure he doesn't mind if he gets replaced. He just truly wanted to get to the finishing line and have us bring him to the finishing line, right? But there are competent people out there, right? And if all of these people on the top wanted to keep their jobs, are you prepared to give up 50, 60% of your salary overnight to stay in there, right? That's what needs to happen. I mean, come on. If you're earning 3 million or 10 million, right? It's not like you can march off to the next company and get $10 million again, but they've been happily paid this $8 or $10 million. No, they should be earning 2 to 3 million. Why are you paying some because they have a degree? I have a degree, I have a master's degree. I don't get paid 10 million a year as a salary. I don't get paid 40 million a year, right? But I tell you what, collectively, us people, the people in this house know more. There's been more information here that the public could benefit from than they have served us on a platter in the last 2 years. There have been more smart suggestions made in all of these channels than these guys could collectively ever come up with. That's a fact, right? That's the best they can do, is come up with an Uber Pro beta test, a gold class, a platinum, and a diamond. That's the best they can do? Seriously? That's what they're getting paid for? That's what the technology guys, that's what the research guys are getting paid for? Millions and millions and millions of dollars to come up with an Uber Pro level that classifies us as gold or diamond drivers? That is the best you can do, Uber? That's what they're paying you for? That's where the investors' money is going? Wow. We've made really, really good suggestions, right? We've shared really good suggestions with Uber and with the public. This here, my friends, should not happen, right? You've literally over 11%, and the day is not even over. 11% is gone, is evaporated in 1.5 days of trading. That's how much confidence the public, the financial markets have with Uber. So if they have that confidence, I ask you, what confidence do they have with the executive team, with the leadership team of Uber? They can't have much confidence. So sweep them out. Spring clean, baby. Sweep them out the back door. New, fresh blood with people on the board, with real people on the board. And we're not greedy. I can tell you the one thing about drivers, they're not greedy. They are more than happy with a 75-25 split, right? And Uber needs to right away, in 2 steps, mark my words, whoever comes in there as a new leader, in 2 steps, you need to increase the rates for the passengers, not in one swooping big step, but you need to do 2 steps, 10% and another 15% within 6 months. You got to bring up the passengers' rates by and charge them 25% more. And within the 6 months, you have to immediately pass on 15 of the 25% to the drivers, just to keep them happy, just to do something for them, just to stop the bleeding and the high turnover of drivers. And they pretend that this is not an issue and it'll go away. I'm not going away. These people are not going away. Strikes are not going away. Gig workers is not going away. Rideshare United is not going away. We're here talking about the issues, talking about poor leadership. Guys, look at this graph. Whoop, 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 whoop. How much further will it go? Jennifer Bennett, the stock price is so embarrassing. Yeah, the stock price to the public says this is how Uber is behaving. We part of Uber, right? I, however, say we're better than that. The drivers are better than that stock price. They are better. And if we have a couple of competent, true leaders on the top that start making different decisions, I think it wouldn't become so embarrassing to the public, right? We had a gentleman early on say that the taxi rates in Boston were about 3 times the rates of what the rideshare rates are. Passengers and riders, ladies and gentlemen, are used to paying more. Passengers and riders are not used to, but are becoming used to being treated like royalty with low fares and low prices, discounts, coupons. We're spoiling them too much, right? And why are they doing this? Just so that they can get apps, numbers signed up and more apps. But this is like what people and the financial markets that attack me, and they say, oh, you don't realize why they're doing that, trying to get more app downloads and more driver app downloads. I understand that part. But at the same time, as they're getting more passenger app downloads, they're setting themselves up for failure, for further and further failure, right? So the app downloads don't really matter, because if you're discounting, subsidizing, and it's not working, at some point you have to increase the rates, right? And then, then see if the passengers will truly stay on board, right? And if your app downloads get used ever again. I'm telling you right now that the rates need to come up for passengers. Crispy Tampa Driver says, good luck, infantry. Oh, we are definitely like an infantry here today. Tony Slaughter, loving the commentary, loving the people in the house. Matt Wilson, this F Testosterone says, F Uber. Infantry's got to go and drive safe, buddy. Understand, you got to get back out and make money. Completely understand. I just appreciate anyone just checking in quickly with our house, with me, leaving a note, leaving a suggestion, supporting the cause. That's all. And then you can go straight back out and continue making money. Ripbone, thank you, my friend. Powerlifting rideshare guy, future world record. Great thing. I don't understand why all these drivers want Uber to fail. You're not getting it, powerlifting rideshare guy. They don't want Uber to fail. That's not what we are here for. We are here pushing for change, right? Pushing for a correction in the course so that the ship doesn't hit the rocks. That is why you're here. These drivers are not here wanting Uber to fail. That is a complete misunderstanding, and that is the wrong choice of words. I can tell you right now. Powerlifting rideshare, that's not why they're here. I want Uber to succeed. I want Lyft to succeed, but I also do understand business basics, and I also do understand, I can tell you one thing I understand is the workforce, is the drivers, right? And if you don't have a balance there, if you don't have a happy medium and a balance and a bridge built from decision makers to workforce, forget about it. Your ship is going to continue heading for the rocks. It's going to continue heading that way. So that's my answer to you, powerlifter. Michael Ryan, if we do nothing, it will fail. Exactly. If we do nothing, it will fail. We have to do something, and we are doing something. We're pushing for change, right? So, and we want to become a force to be reckoned with, and we want to be at the table, and we want to be part of the decision making, and we will keep on striking and pushing for better rates or wages, right? So we're not here to make Uber fail. We're here to make Uber better. Honest guy, I want Uber to fail. That's not the right approach, honest guy. That doesn't suit your title, honest guy. If you were truly honest, you'd want Uber and Lyft to succeed, and you'd want all the drivers to succeed, and you want everyone. It's got to be a win-win-win situation for everyone. I don't think the right mindset is, hey, I want Uber to fail. I need revenge. No, that's not what it's about. We're here to build a better company. John Doe, yeah, you've said your Uber video was removed. You got to look into that. Why? Choice of words, choice of titles. What did you put in the description? What did you put in your keywords? Especially if you're a new channel, you choose the wrong words, you're out. So High Testosterone says, why does Uber take such a large percentage of the revenue? I think the answer to that is not that complicated, right? Because they have set up different things in their business model that are not working, and they're financing those things that are not working. Instead of canning them, abandoning them, right, and changing things up, they're still funding the old mechanism that's not working. So therefore, they are taking away. Where they're taking away, they obviously want to please the drivers. I mean, the riders and the passengers, sorry. So they're not taking from them. They obviously are taking from the drivers, right, where the money is coming from, to pay and subsidize things that are truly not working. They're proven that they don't work. There it is. That shows you that whatever the business model as it is right now and the decisions made right now is not working. The model itself can work. It's just that they have this, they've got it upside down, folks. They really do. Somebody says the new Trip would come out. Are you talking about Trip, the company? I wouldn't put my money on that horse. I really wouldn't. Terry Tips, okay, Professor. Talk to you later. I'm going back to the plantation. Keep up the good work, bro. You have a good day, Terry Tips. Have a wonderful one. John Doe, pool, they lose each ride. You don't know that they're losing money on pool. That's where they might be making their money. We're losing money on pool. They might not be. Honest guy, I would start a rideshare company in a heartbeat. It's just really about finding one or two massive investors. You can't go out there like Trip and build this on a multi-level marketing platform with $0. I know that Trip has no money in the bank. They've spent a few little monies accumulating some licenses here and there, $10,000, $20,000. But you need a lot of money to start off a company, right? And the good thing is we would have a lot of social media power. I know that all the big YouTubers, all the Facebook channels that I know of that have a lot of numbers would put their full weight. So we would get a lot of free marketing. That's the one thing I think we could count on if we started a rideshare company, by the drivers for the people. And everyone that was in there immediately got some part of the action, some stock in this new company. So, a new rideshare company by the drivers for the people would fly. But we need one or two very, very big investors. We really do. If there are any New York, Wall Street people, or people in Europe, or people in the Arab Emirates listening right now that have money to spend, that want to counter this and come up with a third strong possibility, reach out. We're ready to talk to you. We're always ready to talk to you. The one thing we, the drivers, can count on is a huge, 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 huge marketing platform. We have the people, we have the power. We definitely engaged the media, we definitely engaged the print, and it was hugely successful for us drivers, right? The fact that reporters like Bloomberg and that are pushing Derek Kay on the day of the IPO on Friday. So let's talk about the drivers. Did you see how he started bopping and weaving like a boxer trying to avoid the punches, right? Did you see his body language change when any interviewer brought up the word drivers, right? So when they brought up the word drivers and strike, did you see Derek Kay's body language? He was all over the show trying to distract and change the topic. And it is the duty of the reporter, the journalist, to stay on topic and say, hey, what's your take? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about the drivers and them striking? The dumbest answer this guy could have ever given on Friday on the floor at the New York Stock Exchange. It works for some drivers and it doesn't work for other drivers. That is the most political answer I've ever heard. Politicians cannot answer questions, right? It's either east or it's west. It may be north, but it also may be south. It's not an answer, right? They got to take a position and say, hey, we heard the drivers. we understand what they're striking about, and we're getting to work about it, right? And you give them a little payment ollie in the house. Have you heard of Firefly? No, send me I've heard of it, but send me the link. I look at new emerging companies, rideshare companies all the time. You know, sometimes people are just building little landing pages to collect names, to collect emails. There's nothing out there right now that says to me, hey, this is a possible competitor that could take on this market. Nothing right now. There's a few little names here and there that have shown up on the horizon. Uber for Dummies. Uber is expanding into delivering and manpower. Well, they better expand quickly. And I mentioned in my last video in delivery, cargo packages, they need to get into that right away. They already have the platform, right? Don't let other companies take away that market share. Uber should be heavily pursuing deliveries and making package deliveries, cargo deliveries, any type of deliveries available to any driver. If he or she wants to do that delivery, pay them, right? If he or she wants to fill that hour with deliveries, pay them. But that delivery cargo vertical needs to be in the driver app yesterday. I've been saying this for months. Thank you for mentioning it, right? Can't send a link in chat, but it's providing, you can't send the link in chat. Send the link in chat one more time, payment Ali, and then I will approve it. Sometimes the YouTube stops it. Old man Bob. It's old man Bob. We have a little pervert in the house trying to hit up the girls, and little old man Bob, the pervert. Let's give him a little time out. We have no time for these little pervs. There you go, old man Bob. Your pervy little ass has just been wiped out. Trying to put your little sexual messages in here. Go jerk off at home, boy. South Africa, Riva, I hear you. I saw the website, and my honest opinion is, Riva, you need to work on that homepage. It's not up to the standards. Ripbone, I appreciate you, my friend. Professor, I want to give a big shout out to you. Terry Tips, Dustin is driving the Apptrepreneur Rideshare Revolution, Uber Lady Driver, Dave the Uber Slave, thank you for what you do. And everyone in this house, show him love, right? Thank you so much, Ripbone23. I highly appreciate that. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated. And you have just mentioned all the people there that are fighting for you. So a shout out to all of those guys again. Terry Tips, Dustin, Apptrepreneur, Rideshare Revolution, Uber Lady Driver, Dave the Uber Slave, and all the other names I'm sure Ripbone would have included that are out there pushing the stories, putting the pressure on the public, right? Putting the pressure on the public. Thank you, Ripbone. We salute you. We appreciate you. So, Riva, as a South African brother, I will support you all the way. But your homepage, my friend, you got to spend money on it. It is not convincing. It is not crisp. It is not clean. It does not look commercial. So whoever's doing your homepage, redo it. Look at pages like Uber right now. Even look at a page like Trip. They have a great website. And when you've redone that, you actually portray a far more professional message, right? As it stands, that homepage that you have needs a major do-over. And that's a South African brother to a South African brother. And I will support you. I will support you, that's for sure. I will. You have my word. I wanted to get back to you today at the end of the day and specifically say and break down your homepage, right? And maybe other drivers in our house can go to my other South African friend. They're launching a rideshare company. I don't know if it's in South Africa, if they want to launch it, called River, R-I-D-V-E-R. I'm also not completely sold on the name, R-I-D-V-E-R. How do you guys feel about that, right? You got to research some catchy, good names. The name does not roll off my tongue. I'm rider. Explain the psychology, explain your marketing behind that to me, my friend. And again, my South African friend, I'll support you all the way. I'm not putting your company down. I'm here to help you. And once there are a few tweaks, let's push them. You know, amazing companies have started in South Africa. PayPal, Tesla guys from South Africa, one of the most powerful people in the world, South African guys. So it's a small country with a lot of brain power, I can tell you that, right? Just like you get a lot of good ideas coming from Israel, or a lot of good European ideas are flowing into the American market, right? Keep it coming. So Uber for Dummies sent me a private email. I will check it later. I will reply. We need a social meetup live stream. Yes, I mean, this is sort of a meetup, but we should, yeah, you're right. Uber stock is now at 36. It's down 11.23. Thank you for sharing that, honest guy. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow, look at this graph. And look healthy, but the public is spanking Uber today. And why? I think the public has heard us. I truly think the public sympathizes with the driver. And the biggest mistake that guys like Dara or other executives made when they were out there drinking the champagne and celebrating too early, eating Russian caviar, is that in every interview, the way they didn't even speak about the driver, or the way they answered the questions from the journalists about the driver strike, their answers were pathetic. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. They wanted to pretend like this was not for real. This did not exist. It does exist. It is real. It is happening. Duke of Earl, I like that. I like that name. What did the stock open at, please? So, well, we started off at 45. I think the previous close was at 41.57, I believe, and currently we sit at 36.90. So it's down a whopping 11.23% since Friday. It means it's like 11% of the entire stock value, probably over $8 billion, wiped out. Gone. Juan Informa TV, I hope Uber goes bankrupt. Thank you for the shout out, Juan. We appreciate you. I don't entirely want it to go bankrupt. I want to see this company succeed. So as much as I love your contribution and I love your funny statement, Juan, I really do, I want to help make this company better. I want to help make Lyft better. Really. I want the public to have confidence. I want us drivers to be happy. I want us drivers to make money. But things have to change. Things have to change, folks. They really do. We need some carburetor adjustment, right? We need some new synthetic fluids in there. We need to fire this baby, this engine back up and get it running. Right now, it's like chug, 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 firing on a few pistons. This thing can fly. This thing can truly fly. And James Campbell has, he's come up with this one, the Muga. Muga, Muga, Muga. Make Uber great again. That, my friends, sums it up right there. Make Uber great again. I'm not for the other one. I'll tell you right now, I would not wear the red hat. That's just me. I'm not going to get into politics, but I do love that slogan, make Uber great again, because I do think we can make them great again. Honest guy, I appreciate your donation. You are honestly welcome in my house. Everyone is welcome in this house. This is your house, mi casa, su casa, right? And we're here to engage with the public. We're here to invite Uber and Lyft into our house to have dinner with us at our table. Tavo, L'Oreal, you might just want to say F Uber. Obviously, if you say that, it's not going to show in a channel, right? They block out those words, right? Can you look at, let me put this, I'm going to show that there. Can you look at rideaustin.com? Absolutely, honest guy. And then also do me a huge favor, Honest Guy, as well as Ridever. You guys can text me. You can text me or you can email me. So my invite right now, anybody want to call me quickly on the 480-393? I'll take the call and we'll take the question live. And please keep it in relationship with Uber, the IPO, the stock price. Come up with a question. Call me right now. I'll answer it. You have my number there. Anybody wish to call me with a question, we can do it live in the feed. Old man Bob, start behaving, my friend, otherwise you get kicked out again, okay? Not that type of language in this house, please. Otherwise, I don't want to unsubscribe you. Here we go. San Antonio. Speak to me.
Hello?
How are you?
Good. How you doing? This is Honest Guy.
Honest Guy. Good. Thank you for your contributions. You live, buddy. So we have Honest Guy on the phone right now. And you from where? San Antonio, Texas?
I'm in Austin, Texas. I still have my San Antonio number.
Beautiful city. What's the question, my friend?
Yeah. Do you think if Uber shared more with the drivers, where they got more pay per mile and minute, do you think drivers would put a bigger effort into doing more rides, not just the ones that they profit more?
So we have a good question by the Honest Guy from Austin, Texas. He said if Uber would pay the driver better rates so that the driver at the end of the day ends up with more earnings each week, if I heard you correctly. Second part was, say that again, Austin. Would Uber?
Would they complete more rides, not necessarily just the ones that they end up getting more of the trip?
Good question. So I think it takes more than just playing around and adjusting and bettering our rates, right? And what drivers don't like are surprises. So if you, in certain markets, are taking 25% suddenly, just pre-IPO, if you're taking that out of their paycheck, they're obviously extremely unhappy and have zero desire to drive. Quite the opposite. They have the desire to strike. So step one is bring in what I would say is still the 75-25 ratio, right? And start putting in incentives, right? Putting in reasonable incentives. Have you ever heard of these pro rewards? Honest Guy, have you heard of them?
We're treating it as a lesser equivalent of slavery.
Right, exactly. So that whatever they came up with there is obviously not working. This Uber Pro program, what I've heard, the feedback that I've heard, it's just not working, right? I say bring back the 75-25 split and start putting in meaningful incentives. I'm talking about incentives that you get a slight bump in your earnings upwards if you hit 500,000, 5,000, 10,000 trips, right? And then at that point, to answer your questions, I think the people would love to drive, and I think the people would love to stay with the company and also respect the company. Right now, it seems the exact opposite. Does that fairly much answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool.
I just want to let you know I drive a black-on-black Suburban. I drive every category XL up. Other than Ride Austin, I even do standard rides in my luxury Suburban.
Excellent. So that's a
Ride Austin passengers.
And you also do Lyft or just Uber and privates?
I do Lyft, Uber, and Ride Austin.
So
Ride Austin, I get paid more. So you'll be paying $8 and having a black-on-black Suburban show up just because I feel more of a handout to the nonprofit Ride Austin company.
So we have a really smart driver who's really figured it out in Austin. He's literally driving on 3 platforms, and he has a car that I love, right, which is in the SUV category. and he's found a way to maximize his earnings. So in my eyes, I call that working smart, not hard, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate his call. And this is the way everyone should start thinking, right? It's like, how do you find out the ways to really, really reach and peak at the max? And I think you've successfully done that. So I appreciate your contribution. I'm going to be taking one more.
Sign up for a fourth company.
You are?
Get a limousine.
So have you gone out and have you got
a limousine company?
Drive for a limousine company, which is good. You'll make a healthier percentage than with those two. But have you ever thought of going out and getting your own limo license or your own charter private license?
Believe it or not, on Ride Austin, they have something called Direct Connect.
Okay.
I can just get them to download the Ride Austin app. Since I'm a chauffeur's permit holder, which is very easy to maintain here in Austin, I can get riders to put my direct code in and book me directly. I don't have to do anything. I could do it today.
I love that. I love that. That's really forward thinking there. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your contribution in this live feed, and I'm excited to hear from you again. You have an awesome day, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. So if Kenneth in the house.
Hi.
How are you, buddy?
Doing okay. How are you doing?
We're doing fantastic. What are you going to share with us today?
I just want to know if Trip would be a good platform to get onto, or if there are any free applications such as the last gentleman you spoke with is available in Southern California.
Okay, so the one thing that you want to do is obviously research your market and your cities. What are all the possibilities, right? And make a long list. For example, the last caller in Austin shared with us, he definitely figured out the best way to make money in his city, right? So where in Southern California are you?
I'm in Napa Valley, the high desert. I'm landlocked by the Cajon Pass, so I literally travel to Orange County every day. So that's 2 hours trip.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you currently driving with Uber and Lyft, or just on one of the two platforms?
I do both, but primarily Lyft because I actually have better experiences with passengers than I do with any Uber pass.
And what car and what category are you currently in?
I'm the Civic EX, and obviously I'm the Uber X.
Okay. So it might be, in the near future, if you can set some money aside and maybe step it up to XL or SUV and put, like, let's say $800 aside for your California TCP or transportation charter permit. At that point, you're exploring the maximum income, right? So there's a lot of upward potential for you. There really is. I hope right now you're doing, good hours and making good money. But if you ever wanted to reach out to me and text me, those markets that you mentioned, I understand well. And I definitely have a good plan and strategy for even, increasing the earnings. And that means maybe even offloading your X vehicle or leasing that out through another platform so that you have money coming in and that you can maybe set yourself up for another category. I would strongly suggest the change to XL and adding the TCP. You're only looking at a few $1,000s more, but your earnings are like day and night. The difference, sorry. Cool. I appreciate your call, my friend. Keep them coming, okay? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. So we have real drivers. I'm going to do this more and more often. Obviously, I'm not going to share the phone number of the individual, just the name. These are real people that are in our house. I have an overseas call. 1 second. Hello. Hey, who do we have? Yes. Who is it?
It's Sam there from South Africa.
I have South Africa on the line. How cool is that? When I recognize the 27, the number on the screen, the 27, I knew it was from South Africa. Do you represent the company Ridever?
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. So we need to set up a Skype session, you and I, and let's go over. I definitely have a lot of input after looking at your website and looking at the direction that you want to go. And as a South African living in California, I definitely want to support you, right? So I will. I'm gonna leave my Skype name in the channel right now, and reach out to me so that we can connect via Skype and have a one-on-one. Okay?
Absolutely. The opportunity for riding industry is very high.
Yeah.
Not just in South Africa, but in Africa generally, and the ecosystem is developing so rapidly. And like you mentioned, we would like to do something with you.
Wonderful. And what city are you in, my friend?
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. I used to live in Sandton and Bryanston, and then I moved down to Clifton and Camps Bay in Cape Town. I mean, I know all the townships, my friend. Nyanga, Guguletu, Khayelitsha, and Soweto. I've been to all of them. I know the Kodeta, I know the Kosatu, I know all of the industries, my friend. Nyobag. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, I'll come back. I'll come back to my motherland. Okay, and you know who I worked for 3 years? I worked 3 years with the old man for the Nelson Mandela Children Foundation with Zinzi and Zindiwe. No, I'm not joking. And Zedza Dlamini, one of the grandkids of Zinzi Mandela, is a good friend of mine. I traveled all around the United States with him. Yeah, so my roots, my friend, run deep. And my mother's lodge, her safari lodge, is still up there in Timbavati. It's called Chitwa, Chitwa. So my love for South Africa runs deep. I want to support you, but we need to have a one-on-one on Skype, okay? Because I'm gonna get back into this live feed right now. So keep it coming, okay, my friend? Thank you. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. Bye. So how cool was that to speak to my brothers and sisters in South Africa? Tavo L'Oreal, thank you so much for the contribution. I appreciate you. If you want to share with us, let me highlight it. I appreciate the donation. And to my friend from South Africa who picked up the call and called me from Johannesburg, South Africa. Like I said, I know the city, the surroundings, inside out. I would love to help him succeed in that country. And I really appreciate the call. How wonderful that was. That was an amazing surprise to hear from my home country. JJ, the karaoke rideshare driver. I haven't seen the live call-ins before. Yeah, so that's a new one that I'm doing. Keep the content coming. Thanks much for keeping the people in the know and educated, Rob R. Shout out to you. I really appreciate you. You're always welcome in our house, and please always put your ideas and suggestions forth. We'll shout them out for you, Rob R. And thank you. I have another call. I have a lot of calls coming through. I'm going to do this more and more often, that I'll take live call-ins. I think it's great because we're addressing real questions. So Rob R. wrote, again, I'm going to read it out, what he wrote in the message there. Keep the content coming. Let me just see who this is. Thanks much for keeping the people in the know and educated. Who do we have here? Hello? Yes, hi there? Speaking, how are you?
Good. I think the biggest problem, my name's Andy and I'm from Sacramento.
Sacramento.
The biggest problem is if you heard what the CEO said during the IPO, and he said that drones were at the heart of our business. That's BS. We are the business.
That's it. That's it.
It's my car, my gas, my engine, my maintenance, my tires, my personality, my safe driving, my free bottles of water, or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
But I mean, it takes a lot of nerve to an important part of our business. We are the business, so that when a customer has a good experience in Uber, it really has nothing to do with Uber. It has to do with the individual driver.
100%.
So I think the narrative is wrong. The whole narrative is wrong.
Yeah, their mindset is wrong. The way they speak before cameras is wrong. And you just summed it up. I couldn't have said it better. And it reflects right up here. I'm pointing at the screen. So whatever you just shared with our house, right? We are the company, and you there's no two ways of changing that. That outlook. We are the company. Period. It's like you said. It's your car. You're buying the waters for the clients. It's that experience that you in Sacramento are selling to the passengers. That's where the money is collected, and it's then handed over to a couple of execs, pulling the strings at the top. And where do your frustrations and unhappiness, where does it lie? If you really had to break it down for the room.
Yeah, I think 75-25 is fair.
Fair, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of passengers get in and they say, "Oh, you're renting the car from Uber, right?" I said, "No, this is my car."
Your car.
And the other thing is autonomous driving is a farce, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Where are they going to get $500 billion to buy hundreds of thousands of very expensive autonomous cars? Where are they going to get the money to do that?
Right. And
Also, if you think regular car maintenance is expensive, wait till they start repairing those high-tech vehicles.
Correct. So
it just seems like a pipe dream at this point, unless they've got $500 billion sitting somewhere.
Correct. I mean, I think you're spot on as far as the figures go, and they're pumping all that money into an industry that it's just like it's like desert sand, right? They're just pissing that money into dry sand right now, and we subsidizing that. So tell me something. When you're in the car driving in Sacramento, do you get into some good conversations with passengers?
Yes, I do have a dash camera that records inside and outside, and so some people are very reserved, which I understand because they're on camera.
Absolutely.
But, we get into a lot of good conversations, and the ones that are very open-minded, I let them know that the reason we're striking, I tell them, everything. But before I do that, do you work for Uber?
Right? No, I don't work for Uber. No, I think.
No.
Oh, you ask them. You ask them. Do you work for Uber? Good one. I like it.
Before I say anything about the strikes, and before I say
Exactly. I hear you.
Professor, I'm on your side.
Thank you.
Save Uber. I love driving just like you do and everybody else.
Yes.
But it has to be fair.
Has to be fair.
That's all we're asking for.
Right. So the word here, the buzzword for the day, he's put it out there. The word is fair, right? It's got to be fair for everyone, right? And I love the fact that he's bringing up the conversation with passengers in a gentle fashion. You're not forcing the issue, not forcing the strike on them. Like if you get the opportunity, you're bringing it up and you say, "Hey, how do you feel about the strike?" And you're getting into a meaningful conversation. I also like the fact that he asks the person, him or her, "Hey, do you work for Uber?" The moment they say, "Yes, we do," obviously the conversation's over and the camera goes off, right? But
Right.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. That was
Professor, one last thing on a safety note for our sisters out there.
Yes.
If something doesn't feel right and the hair on your neck goes up, you lock the door, cancel the ride, and you take off. Because Uber doesn't have your back. When seconds count, the police are minutes away.
I love it. So what he's saying is when your gut feeling tells you something is off, it usually is off, and then follow his steps. End the trip, cancel it, and drive away. And you're going to save yourself a huge future problem, because, as I hear you correctly, the police will not get there in time. Have I summed it up correctly for you?
Exactly, and that's mostly for our sisters out there too, especially driving at night.
So for all our sisters out there, as you can see, real drivers out there supporting you, and just follow his advice. It's advice that I'm putting out there. It's advice that Dustin is putting out there, is that if something feels wrong, it is wrong, and don't engage, right? You do not have to set yourself up.
Thank you so much, Professor.
I appreciate you. I really appreciate the call. You have an awesome day, my friend.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Wonderful contributions, folks. Wonderful contributions by real drivers, and we're going to do that more and more often. And, the public needs to hear these type of phone calls, right? The public needs to hear that real drivers are calling in and they are voicing real concerns, and they're putting forward real suggestions, and they're talking about the real problems. They're talking about the conversations that take place in cars, folks. This is real street value here, right? Do you see that? Real street value, right? And that needs to flow into the company to make that best. Or as James Campbell says, make Uber great again. MUGA. I'm not even going to mention the other one, but that's it, right? I'm all for bringing out the best in Uber and making them healthy, so that we're happy, right? That the stories change from one of striking to, hey, I'm proudly getting in my car. We love our job. We do. I love engaging, like the previous driver here from Sacramento. Juan Informa, thank you, my friend. I want to invite everyone to come to Santa Barbara. Where do you want them to go? Do you have a party in Santa Barbara, Juan? Tell us where to go. I'll come up to Santa Barbara. People have invited me down to San Diego. I've gone several times. I've gone to Huntington Beach. So if you want me to come to Santa Barbara, can we get a group together in Santa Barbara? Organize it, Juan, and email me or text me. I'll show up for the Santa Barbara party. But back to the Sacramento guy who called in. Brought up real important points, right? Especially for our sisters, the whole security thing. Something feels off, do not engage, do not take that trip, right? So I appreciate you guys. Rideshare 411, everybody, don't forget, share, get the word out, go and subscribe to Rideshare 411. I've liked his videos. I like his energy. I believe Rideshare 411 is in Orange County, Southern California. Am I correct? The hate keeper has arrived. What hate do you wish to spread today, my friend? Or are you keeping the hate away from the issues, from the stories? Keeping that. Tommy joins us. Welcome. There he is. Ryan is driving. Yeah, he had a fun channel. Ripbone, thank you. Got to run, Professor. Keep the fight, Muga. Make Uber great again. I love it. Koreatown in the house. Inland Empire. Salvi Rideshare driver. Koreatown in the house. Whoop, whoop. Man, you just made me hungry. I got to go down and get myself some good Korean barbecue. Man, do I love that. Down there on Wilshire. Great restaurants. Great restaurants down there. Let's see, who do we have? JJ, karaoke rideshare driver. Tampa driver, yes. Okay, she's having a little private conversation. Cool. Got a lot of good content today. And where do we stand right now? Let's just refresh this sucker. Let's refresh this. Where do we stand at the New York Stock Exchange? What's happening down there? Oh, it's pulled up a little bit. We're 10.7 down. Ripbone, thank you again. We're down 10.7%, right? If I'm not mistaken, at the end of trading on Friday, we were down high sevens. So we've plummeted another 3.5%, according to my calculations. We're sitting at 37 right now with an opened at 45. I think the previous close was on 41. The public markets are speaking. This is a royal Uber spanking, right? And my gut tells me, my business gut tells me, the public has heard us. And for anyone that has engaged with me in my room, in our house, Mikasa Sukasa, our house here, that says we have no clue, the drivers have no clue, I just switch it around. I said, are you a driver? Have you ever gotten into the car? And they'll say no. And then I said, how can you understand the business? You're coming from the financial markets. Obviously, you want the stock to fly, right? But you don't understand what is happening on grassroots level. Many of these financial gurus, Wall Street gurus, have no clue what happens on grassroots, on street level, right? That's where it takes place, my friends, right? So, yeah, would they like that to fly? Would they love the volatility? Sure. Traders make a lot of money in volatility, right? But I would say that the most financial markets, these financial gurus, these Wall Street traders, have no clue what the they have no clue about the pulse of the company, right? and that it can never thrive if the workforce is not thriving. So there's a huge disconnect between us, the people bringing in the money, and the people who'd love to be making the money on Wall Street, right? But they're not in the cars. They don't understand they don't understand the workforce. They don't understand how rideshare works. They have never understand driven, but they think they are the high and almighty that can give us sound advice. No, they can't. No, they can't. There's a lot of smart Uber drivers that have degrees, business degrees, that understand business, right? That have made this into a big business like myself, turned it into a big leasing company and a limo company, right? We understand at least street grassroots level. We understand that. And then for financial traders and Wall Street people to enter our house and spew their comments and hatred, saying that we have no clue, we're a sunk cost, drivers are a sunk cost, thing of the past. Wake up, buddy, smell the coffee. Yep, Payman Ali, I agree with you. I agree with you. Vinny Kuz is in the house. This is a two-way street. One of the best statements made today. This is a two-way street. This is not a one-way street with a cul-de-sac and it ends in an IPO and there's a table with Russian caviar, champagne. No, this is not a one-way street. Listen to our house. Vinny Kuz says it's a two-way street, right? We need to feed each other equitable energy. Got to be a win-win street, right? Not just a one-way street. No, this is a win. This has got to be a win-win street. The moment it becomes a two-way street, watch. Just watch. Mark my words. You want to change this, you have the power to change this. You have the power to engage the public markets. Only you, a new, fresh leadership team, starting by Dara resigning. You need to go, my friend. I'm sorry, but you need to go. You come from airline and travel company. You do not understand the rideshare business. You have probably never done 20 trips in your life. No, Paul Roders, exactly. No relationship work when it's one way. Think about girlfriend, boyfriend. Think about husband, wife. If it's just a one-way street, it's going to end up in a divorce, right? It's going to end up in a breakup if it's just one-way energy. Madness. Our house in the middle of the street. Our house was a castle and a treat. Our house, that is where we used to eat. Our house. Thank you. Madness. Going back to the good old 80s, baby. And guys, did you know that I used to DJ in the 80s? My vinyl and 7 singles collection was insane. And I had a wonderful, wonderful father that would drive me as an underaged DJ who couldn't drive, who didn't have a license to drive, but my dad would drive me to all my events and pick me up at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. Shout out to my dad. Passed away at the young age of 49. My dad was a professor, doctor, 3 degrees. Professor, doctor. The greatest father. And I live up to him, my idol, my dad, right? Who drove me around as a little junior DJ in the 80s. So Madness, Our House rings a big bell. Love that song. Juan Informa. Uber is nothing without us drivers. Listen to that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? And when the public, I think the public knows that Uber is nothing without us drivers, as Juan Informa TV says, right? And when the public starts noticing, and starts reading positive reviews, starts seeing new leadership, mark my words on this one, when the public starts seeing a change in the press, new leadership, new executive board, a new CEO that says, hey, I've taken 100 trips. I understand how those drivers feel, and I want to connect with them, and I want to work with them. When the public sees that, this year, my friends, will change. It'll go up, right? But as long as you adopt the attitude like Dara Kay says the other day, well, it'll work for some and it doesn't work for others. Dude, come on, man. Is that your attitude towards us, calling us them? Travis Kalanick calling us the dude in the car? It shows the absolute disrespect that they have for their drivers, for their workforce. But when the public starts reading and starts seeing TV interviews with a new CEO, with a new leadership team that says, hey, we want to work with these drivers, we want to understand these drivers, we invite them on our board, they let them mix it up with us, right? Leadership top to bottom, bottom to top. You then have a two-way street. You then have a winning formula. And then you got to address the company and the faults and the things that are not working. There's a lot of things inside Uber that are not working, starting with Uber Pro. To start classifying your drivers as gold drivers, diamond drivers, and platinum drivers, give me a break. Seriously, is this the Olympic Games when you putting drivers up against each other? When you're classifying them? It's like, hey, here's the throne, and you're on peasant level. You're not on king level. Bullshit, man. That doesn't work. Who came up with that stupid, idiotic idea to create an Uber Pro? No, come out flat out with well thought out incentives. And you want to know where you're going to get the input from Uber as far as incentives go? Let the drivers show you how to create incentives. So when Uber says that the beta platform was built by the drivers, for the drivers, I call BS. It was built by Uber and the drivers were forced to participate. There we go. See? That's a clear sign, my friends. So yeah, you got to start speaking the truth, Uber. You know, these little hidden lies, guess what happens? They're not speaking the truth. That beta platform was not built by the drivers for the drivers. No, it wasn't. It was built by Uber to manipulate the drivers to get the maximum out of the drivers. That's what your gold, platinum, that is not a true incentive program. And the public, I think, knows that because we've shared that with them. So we are constantly being conned and played by Uber. And the only way that can change, the only way the perception of the public can change is when we have a new leadership team in place, when we have a new leadership structure, top to bottom, bottom to top, where there's a participation of drivers in the decision-making process, where drivers can tell Uber, hey, this program that you're running there, this lab test that you're running with your mice and guinea pigs, it ain't working, my friend. Got to go. Right, so there we have it. Rob R. Travis Kalanick thinks it's okay for folks to work their tails off for ends meet. Yep. Data out. Ooh, a lot of good stuff coming here in our house. Public, if you're tuning in, you've tuned into our house. We welcome you in. Come through the front door, sit down with us at the lunch table, at the dinner table. You know, you have a lot of good drivers sharing a lot of good input, and we had a lot of good phone calls, and I'll do that more and more often. I think these phone calls are great, right? And I apologize to those whose calls I didn't take today, but I will periodically take, 3 to 4 calls. And my phone was ringing off the hook, so my apologies that I couldn't take all those calls. I got a couple of really good call-ins. From Texas, from California, and I want to do it again. I want to do it again in the next feed, and I want to hear from different corners. I had a friend calling in from South Africa. Awesome. Payman Ali. These Silicon Valley companies are lowering the vibrational energy of humanity. Wow, that resonates. I feel it is part of our duty to resist that and raise humanity's condition and protect our riders from such temptation. Hey, Payman Ali, you're up there, my friend. You're right up there. Your frequency is peaking out. I love it. Great, great, great way you summarize that. Journey with Jordan, how are you today? Dara's probably been networking for his next CEO position. You're right. He's like, hey, who's got Antonio Kirby in the house? How are you, my friend? Shout out, much love to you, Antonio. How are you doing today? I like that Journey with Jordan said Dara has probably been networking for his next CEO position. So he's out there working the cameras. Who's going to hire me? Who's going to hire me? Because soon I shall be fired. And I think I'm on the money here. I think Dara, I just have a feeling. I have a feeling, folks. Dara ain't going to last another 2 months. I'm sorry. That's my feeling. My gut feeling really, really serves me well. 6-7 months ago, I said they're going to strike on IPO day, right? Peace and love, John Doe. James Campbell says, Journey with Jordan, I think you're right. I think he is right. I really do. I'm with you on that. Mark Higgins, maybe BlackBerry. I love those BlackBerry days, man. Big phones, big chunky things. It was easy to text. Phones today, oh my gosh, you got to, even the auto text goes crazy. Okay, so Juan from Informa TV, 100%. So Juan says, can you please share this picture and show how Uber steals from me? Sure. So there's the picture, there's the breakdown. And basically the rider pays, in his case scenario, $30.35. And he received $18.23. James Campbell, he's about to be CEO. Shit, he got fired. Listen to that. That's what I predict as well. I say thank you. I appreciate it, James. CEO crap. Oh, CEO shit, I just got fired. I like that. That's great humor. Keep that humor coming, James. So back to Juan Informa. The rider paid $30.35. I showed you. He got $18.23. You know, I would say it sounds like they took about 40% out, 40 to 45%. Wrong. Not good. There's a great song by Depeche Mode. One of my favorite bands goes wrong. Texas in the house. Texas rideshare guy steps into our house in the middle of the street. Our house is a castle and a treat. Our house, that is where we used to eat. We welcome you in. That was from a rap battle with Elon Musk against Mark Zuckerberg. Love it. Can those guys rap? They need to take lessons with Jay-Z or Eminem or Travis Scott or Ray Shremmerd or French Montana. Those guys will teach those boys how to rap. Frank C, are investors crazy enough to put money on $200,000 auto robots to take $2.80 rides that produce money? You're right. That does sound like an equation that ain't going to work out, right? And then as our Sacramento caller said, yeah, try and then the maintenance costs on those $200,000, $300,000 cars. Insane. And then you're going to do like $2.80 trips. Math doesn't add up. Depeche Mode still going strong. Rob R, with you all the way. I watched them here in LA in the Hollywood Bowl. Damn, were they good. They did not disappoint. Nicholas Geiger, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Much appreciated, my friend. If I can give you a shout out, if there's something you'd like to share with our house, you're welcome. But thank you so much for your contribution, sir. I appreciate you. No, they will use $22,000 robots. Now we have a battle going on between autonomous cars and robots. Electronica, let's see. Alvin Day, what about insurance? How would that work with autonomous cars? Yeah, how would that work? Good question. Juan Informa, thanks, bro. Thank you, my brother. Let's keep the fighting and let's all make Uber better again. Yes, public, we will help make Uber better again. We will make Lyft better again. We will get the stock price up over the 50 mark, over the 60 mark. We are the people that you can rely on, dear public, because we're pushing for change. And the first change that's coming, mark my words, there will be a new CEO. I'm saying this today. Quote me, my friends. Quote me on this. I'm saying this today on May the 13th. I appreciate you, Juan. And I appreciate you for sharing that screenshot with me and giving us a good breakdown to show once again that the greedy top is taking too much cash. I make this prediction on May the 13th. I, Torsten Kunert, Uber and Lyft driver, swear to you, swear to our house, I see a new leadership team coming. The public, the investors will have to act. Whoever represents this company right now is not making smart decisions, right? And got to rethink those salaries, my friends. You're paying these people too much for giving and creating too little. And rather run the ideas by the drivers first. Bring the drivers on the board and then run the ideas by the drivers. Listen again. Bring drivers onto the board, people that understand street level. And before you go and launch those way out of whack ideas, like your gold thing, your platinum thing, your diamond thing, rather run that past the drivers first. I'll tell you, they will give programs like that a 2 thumbs down. Because we're not at the Olympics competing against each other. You're not going to put us into a little psychological trap and pit drivers, one driver against the other driver, where they have to achieve 600, 1,200, or 1,800 points. That crap ain't flying. That's the most idiotic idea that probably burnt up like 15 million bucks, right? Because they have a whole squadron of programs like, we're going to design this thing, this fancy schwancy little Uber Pro program. Sucks. You did not run it by the drivers. And if you say that the Uber drivers built it and they tested it, you're lying. It was built by Uber, right? And we were forced to test it. We were forced to be your lab rats, right? And that's going to change. That is going to change with the next leadership team. They are not going to treat us like a laboratory, right? We're going to be on the board and we're going to help you make sound and wise and smart decisions that are geared up for future profits. We will help you on the path to profitability, my friends, right? Yeah, they did expand it in LA, and it's crap. My opinion is Uber Pro is a pile of donkey crap, right? Dumbest thing I've seen. There's no true rewards in that. There's no true incentives. All you do is you are creating a manipulative psychological trap. Gold. Oh gosh, I'd rather be platinum. Oh, you know what? The ultimate is diamond. Who came up with that shit? You see that in MLMs, multi-level marketing companies, and you see that in at the Olympic Games. That's not rideshare business. Alvin A, 4.96. I'm a Fucon Pro, 4 years under my belt. Shout out to you, my friend. Sam the Private. Make Uber great again. Let's not confuse this with politics. This is a whole different thing here, right? I hope none of the autonomous cars have working auxiliary cords. That is so funny. That is so funny. I love it. Dow is 700. Yeah, the Dow is getting punished because they want to get into a battle with the Chinese. Guys, it's all we need is to get into a battle, right, over putting all these tariffs on products. Thank you, Alvin. When Uber was great, Christian, Pro is crap. I want cash, not coupons or discounts. Thank you, Christian. Mark Higgins, me too. Rideshare Professor, me too. I'm with you on that one, Christian. Saint Onge. So, right now, let's refresh this sucker. Sucker, where are we? 11%, folks. We're down to 36. Can I just show you for 1 second what the graph looks like? Whoop, 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 whoop. Pop, 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 pop. What is Uber stock? Ken Richard? It's right there. Started on Friday at 45. I want to say at the end of Friday, it closed at about 41. Opened on Monday, 9:30 Eastern time on the New York Stock Exchange, and we're at 37.01. It's down 11%. Public markets are spanking the stock. And I do think the public has heard us loud and clear because they have read every paper, Chicago Tribune, New York Times, Washington Post, La Opinion, Daily Press, San Francisco Chronicle, Los Angeles Times, Miami Herald, Le Figaro in Paris, Pravda in Moscow, Die Welt in Germany, Die Antwoord Die Antwerp in Holland. They've read these newspapers, the public has read these newspapers all across the globe. They've switched into every channel, whether it's BBC, whether it's CNN, whether it's Fox News, whether it's ABC, CBS, and they've heard one thing. They've seen drivers out there striking and voicing their unhappiness, the people that drive them to work in the morning, the people that drive them after work, the people that pick them up at nightclubs, and they understand, the passengers understand their drivers are not happy, right? And a lot of these folks are people at the dinner table that decide, do we or don't we invest in the stock? You know what, honey? I don't feel good about investing into the stock right now because they are truly not treating the drivers very well. If you don't think we are making an impact, my friends, stay asleep, sleep in, right? Take a sleeping tablet, remain asleep, get under the covers. I'm telling you right now, we're making a massive, massive difference by keeping these streams alive, by showing up at the picket lines, by showing up at the airports, by striking, by getting in front of the cameras, by sending out letters such as James Campbell did to our leaders, right? And I'm going to make a video about that video, that letter he sent to the lieutenant governor, right? Pushing for change. There are real people in our house pushing for change. James Campbell is one of them. Yeah, exactly. Well, they can't sell their stock for 6 months, but they will. They pray. They got to pray that. And those executives right now that have to hold their stock for 6 months, they would be better off if new leadership came in, complete new leadership, and started lifting this thing up so that when they do cash out in 6 months, they actually start making some money. Because right now, they keep on steering this ship towards the rocks. In 6 months, this ain't worth much, right? I mean, look at Lyft after 2 weeks. You're welcome. James, you're welcome. It's a good letter you wrote. Anybody, what's Lyft stock at right now? I'm too afraid to even look. Can anybody share what Lyft stock is right now? It says if you're a startup company and never report a profit for 3 years, it is considered a hobby. I like that, Sambo. That's a great quote, my friends. Lyft 47.76. There we go. Where did it open at? It's come down. Way down the river, says Sam, the private driver. Way down the river go our stocks. They flow one way, and that is down the river. Our stocks are flowing down the river. Come on, we can lift you up. We can pump you up. Yes, we can. Drivers can. Janice Stewart's in the house. Daniel Christopher's in the house. Two Wheel Therapy's in the house. Started at 88.6. Woohoo! Lashings, baby. M. Sawyer, about $10 north of Uber. Journey with Jordan. Uber's issue is no tangible assets, no property, no vehicles, no proprietary system. Amen. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very well said. Texas tornado, baby. We need a true Texas tornado to fly through the executive office of Lyft and Uber. So can you arrange that to next Texas tornado? Can you bring your powers, your Avenger powers, the Texas tornado powers, through the boardroom of Uber and Lyft and break all windows, flush all the furniture out, and bring in a new team so we can go back up again? Yeah, I saw my ass, guys. I saw my ass with Lyft, but I'm sticking in. But I made very, very good money with Uber because I learned my mistake from Lyft. So I put in a lot of shorts on Uber on the opening day. And I just watched that graph. So right now I'm up, believe it or not. Got to learn from but I'm going to stick in there. I'm right now, I'm not jumping back into the Uber game. I will see when this thing hits rock bottom, and then I'll come in. And on the other one, I did see my butt, but I made it up on the Uber by shorting the market, by putting puts. So you learn, right? You learn from the one. Because I see Uber and Lyft as the same company. I just see both taking. Hello?
Professor, this is Pablo. Cordial from San Diego.
Who is it again?
Pablo Cordial from San Diego.
How are you? So we got San Diego in the house, my friends. How can I help you, buddy?
I want to share a little story to the channel that I picked up a customer down here in San Diego from the airport down to downtown.
Yes.
Marriott Marquis. It was one of the developers for Uber.
Okay, interesting.
Software developers way back when Uber started.
Yes.
I want to share the greatness of the Uber CEO and all of their executives. So what I asked him was, you guys have a better app than a taxi, a better service than a taxi. Everything was better than taxis.
Correct.
Why are you guys treating your drivers and making their earnings almost to the poverty level?
Right.
If you guys knew that you guys had a better service, better everything than a taxi did.
Right.
And everybody's had bad experiences with taxis. But Uber, when they came in, was a revolutionary thing where the cars were brand new, the people were very polite, everything was better.
Correct.
Why would you guys do that? Why would you guys cheapen the market so much?
Correct.
And he said to me, you know what, I'm so sorry that you guys are at this level right now, and there's so many of you that are unfairly treated, but when we first started, Uber was going to be just a little bit under than a taxi, what the price of a taxi is.
Correct. So.
But now, their greediness got so high, they drove down the prices.
Yeah, you're right.
To the point that we are right now. And I told them, why would they do that? People still needed a ride from point A to point B. They still needed a ride.
Correct.
Even if you charge them $2 a mile or $3 a mile, they would still use it because
Correct.
And he told me, he said, you know what? I would never use a taxi again because of their service, but you're right. Customers needed to move from point A to point B, and they just drove down the prices because they're greedy.
So basically you... Correct. So basically you have a person in your car who works for, who represents Uber, that is at the end of the day agreeing with everything that you're telling him, right? But maybe it does not have it in his power because he's like in the ranking level up there with his salaries. He's not on the same level as Darren that, and he's basically just programming for them and doing exactly what these...
Exactly. He was a developer. He was a developer for these guys. And I asked him his name. He said, no, I'm sorry. I can't give you my name.
Understandable.
I can't give you my name.
Understandable.
I said, you know what? It's just one of those things where greed and all of these drivers that we are, you, me, Big Better, and all of us, this is what we need to do. And it maybe it's an idea that you have a bigger face with drivers.
Correct.
We need to start on our own app.
We do, folks. Listen to this. And I wouldn't mind spearheading that. So I have a meeting. We have Monday today, right? I have a meeting at the end of the week with my developers that have developed different programs for me. I already have in place a functioning driver app and a tested passenger app, right? Just the technology side you can buy. I'm just answering the gentleman on the phone. So you can buy this parts of the source code that is already out there. It's been developed. You can then make it better. So you have a functioning platform. Trip, I know, also has a functioning platform. They're exactly the same. But here's, let me just finish the sentence, right? In order to come out of the gate, let's say with a new company that is formed by drivers, where the drivers have stock in the company for the public, right? You do need one or two big investors on board. You can't build this money on Trump change, right? You got to have some money in the bank to start rocking and rolling and getting some publicity out, right? You can't start this with $0 in the bank. Trip is trying to do this with $0, and it's dangerous, right? These guys here had big investors, and they've shown us, Uber and Lyft have shown us what to do and what not to do. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Let me tell you something, Professor. If you would ask some of these drivers that drive with Uber and Lyft, if you would ask them for $1,000 to start your company and the idea that you have right now, they would absolutely stand behind you. If you would tell them, you know what, we're not going to take anything from the fare. We're just going to charge maybe advertising fees because we're going to put up like a iPad behind the seat so the customer sees these advertising and you don't get charged. But
correct.
Trying to get advertising from this iPad that you put behind the seat.
Correct.
So we can get revenue that way.
Well, there's many good ways. There's many good ways we could bring in money, but your point has been taken. The bottom line is, I personally would not go out and ask a driver for $1,000, but this is what I would do. I would say, hey, if we look at their stock value, right, and we determine the one company says the stock is $45, and we have an amount, a value that we can put on our stock, and if a person, even if we would evaluate our stocks at realistically at $15 or $20, and a person put in $40, that they actually start right there from the moment they put money into this new company, they already own stock. You can't just take money from people. I cannot just take money from drivers. We'd have to set up an identity for all drivers, where if they put money in, they automatically own stock in this new company. I think that would be a brilliant strategy to get a new company off the ground.
I would do it, and everybody else on this channel and everybody else that you know would do it.
Love you. I love you, my friend. Okay, I have to go. I have to rock and roll here, but your call has been very important. I hear you, San Diego. I appreciate you, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you, buddy. Bye. So thank you to San Diego. Great contribution there. Great ideas. Great ideas. Thumbs up, San Diego. Thumbs up to our house. Let's give ourselves I need 50. I'm going to be heading out, my friends. The stock is even going further down. It's down at 11.4. We're already down to $36.80 per share. Wow. Public spanking, my friends. Public spanking, a royal public spanking. Saying to the leaders up there loud and clear, whatever you are doing ain't working, my friends, and you better change the formula, right? We are part of the formula. We are part of the solution. We will make Uber great again. We, the drivers, dear public, have the ability to rock your stock. We will rock it down. We will rock it up. You decide how you are going to incorporate and treat us drivers. We are an integral part. We are the workforce. We are part of this company, and treat us as we should be treated. So thumbs up. I'm getting a lot of, oh, whoa, we're on fire, my friends. Fuego. Woo. Gosh, got the flash on there. Let me put the flash off. Flash off, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Why is I apologize. Why is my flash going crazy? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Thumbs up in the house. Thank you, Tava L'Oreal. Peace and love to you, Jono. Porky Because. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. You're the Chiefs. Everyone out there, the Chiefs. Fire, baby. Rideshare 411. I think we had another great session. 2 hours. I'm going to keep on going it for 3 more minutes, folks. 3 more minutes to hit that 2-hour mark. I think we had a great session, my friends. Janice, Daniel, I think we had a great session. I think we connected with a lot of people today. I think we connected with the public. I think they heard us loud and clear today, right? That in our house, we come up with great solutions, right? With great suggestions. If you ever want to check public into our house, just read what our peeps have to say. This is it. These are real ideas on street level by real drivers that'll change. We will rock the stock, right? Up or down. You decide. Uber decides. The executive team decides whether they want to rock the stock up or down. We have the power. Trust me, we have the power. David has the power. Goliath doesn't have the power. Did you guys see what happened on Game of Thrones yesterday? One chick and one dragon screwed up an entire village, burnt down a fleet of ships. Just takes one person with the balls to stand up to the Almighty, right? We'll bring the dragon lady in. I'll hire Daenerys. She'll be sitting on our board, and we will light it up, baby. We will light fires. I will guarantee you that, right? Any Game of Thrones lovers in the house? Got one right here. Show us money. So our theme song, we sing it together. Get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up for your rights. And then another theme song. Money, money, money. Show us more money in the rideshare world. There we go, my friends. These are some of our theme songs. We will keep on singing. Kenneth Morrison in the house. Good talking to you on the phone. No more 4 hours, baby. I can't. This guy's got such a great sense of humor. I cannot do 4 hours. I'd literally lose my mind. My head would be spinning. Robbo, show us the money. Show us this, my friends. Show us more money, honey. Cuddly Cancer Man, good episode on GOT. Absolutely great episode. Great battle scene. 80 minutes of full-on craziness. Sam Bill, every driver will pay $1,000 for vehicle across the country. We will have $1 billion and a 10% maintenance fee on every ride. Love it. See the good ideas? See the good vibes. Vibe Rides launched on Friday in Texas. Send me the info on Vibe Rides. Send it to me. I want to look at it. Send me the info on Vibe Rides. You've got my email. You've got my number. That's it. Media Twilight. Hey, about Uber Eats, Torsten. Are they doing good for Uber? No, they're not. I mean, they're making money. They're making money. But I think the leaders in that field are definitely Postmates. They have a great, smart marketing campaign. They're getting a lot of awareness. They have funny campaigns, funny sells. Remember, if you look at the Bud Light ads, funny humor sells in the advertising world, and Postmates is capitalizing on it. They're smart, right? You cannot do these stupid, dry Uber ads. They're not even funny. They're not funny, right? Come up with good advertising, man. Our advertising campaign for Uber Eats and Uber sucks. Look at other companies as an example. Look at Postmates, how they're structuring their marketing. Look at Doritos, right? That works. Look at Bud Light or Budweiser. They make good, funny, catchy ads that people talk about. Dilly Dilly. Why did I say Dilly Dilly? Because they ran a campaign several months ago. Dilly Dilly, right? And then they did the whole Game of Thrones theme. You got to create ads that people keep in their memory. Use funny advertising. We've hit the 2-hour mark. We've hit the 2-hour mark. I appreciate you. Nothing but love for our house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for telling the public that this is not a healthy reflection of us and we can do much better. We can do way, way better than this. It shouldn't be 11% down. It should be 11% up right now. And we can help you. We can help you get there. We can help you get there. Yeah, it's helped this video go viral. We've had great calls in, great phone calls. I've hit the 2-hour marks. I will not be going for the 4-hour mark. Not happening again. Lose my mind. Guys, we stand together. Lagos, Nigeria in the house. Merci, monsieur. Au revoir, merci. SO Nigeria. Monsieur, bonjour. Très bien. Have a great day. Much love back to you. Basic stuff. Peace and love. Peace and love, my friends. Cool. And we're going on a very, very high note with a lot of love, with a lot of thumbs up, with a lot of good ideas. My friends, I wish you a great week. It's Monday. Go out there, have fun, make money, take care of your family, take some time for yourselves, hit the gym, have a healthy salad, do some stretches, take a walk around your neighborhood, engage with your neighbors, shake hands, and spread the ride share love. Thank you.